Hi, beautiful YouTube family. Lisa A. Romano here, the life coach, and today I've been asked to do a video about how to attract love, healthy love, and maintain that love. So one of the things that I want to get put straight away is that I don't like to use the word falling and love in the same sentence, because when I think about falling, I see myself tripping and not having any control over busting my face on the concrete. When I think about falling, I imagine people jumping out of buildings. When I hear the word falling, I think of something negative. And so I don't like to mentally carry the word falling and love in the same sentence. To me, that's just danger, danger, danger. What I have discovered throughout my life is that when I was younger, I used to think that the immediate attraction that I had towards someone was love. That was before I understood that when you are still unconscious to the divine being that you are, or bringing it home to me so maybe that'll help you guys understand where I'm coming from a better place. When I was below the veil of consciousness and I was living out my childhood programs, which were negative, which were rooted in I am not enough. I need validation from the outside. I need other people to approve of me. I need permission to feel. I need permission to be angry. I need permission to be happy. I need permission to go for a manicure. I need permission to ask for something. I need permission to go to sleep. I need permission to wake up. I need permission to not eat. I need permission to eat. Literally, before I had my awakening, and I like to use biblical symbolism, before I took myself off the cross, and I realized that I could resurrect my own self and save my own self by changing the way I saw myself, which means confronting the negative programming, the old self, which is ego, my false self. Once I realized that I could take myself off the cross and I could stop persecuting myself with negative self-talk, you stupid, you ugly, you unworthy, da, 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 which was all a reflection and a projection of what had been imprinted into my mind since I was a little girl. Once I realized I could do that, I began to understand that when I was my younger self, thought instant attraction and chemistry and the sense that I was falling in love and feeling out of control and not being able to go to sleep at night because all I did was think about my boyfriend and all I did was think about the guys on the bus and this whirlwind of love addiction and this inability to stay in control of my feelings, like not being able to eat, not being able to think, not being able to concentrate. I thought that was all what falling in love was about. And I didn't think there was anything negative with that. Oh my God. I mean, I'd like to pose a challenge to you guys. Find me a song on the radio that isn't reeked with codependency. I mean, I'm driving along with my 17-year-old and I'm constantly telling her, that's a codependent woman singing that song. That's a codependent man singing that song. Just be aware, dear one, just be aware. You was being programmed to be codependent through your music. I'm just saying. And of course, to my 17-year-old, I look like and sound like an absolute maniac. But I have to understand that I am above the veil and she is still below the veil. And so, to her, I sound like a lunatic, but I know what I'm talking about. Okay. So when I was below the veil of consciousness, I thought all this falling in love stuff was good. When I finally went through my divorce and it was the pain and it was the suffering, which is very symbolic of what Christ, which is the Son of God, went through before he was resurrected. So it is pain that brought me through. It is pain that woke me up. It is pain that forced me to challenge everything that I thought about myself, about my family, and even about the world, and even about the so-called religion that had been brainwashed into me, which I don't believe in religion whatsoever. Religion separates people. And I don't believe in a God that is separate from me at all. And I think that's part of what screwed me up in my life, is because I always thought that there was a power that was outside of me that could figure things out for me or lead me or give me answers or whatever. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's all, in my opinion, it's nonsense. Any idea that has me thinking that God is separate from me, I reject. I reject. God is within me. God is me. I am God. God is me. Period. God is you. Now, do you know that? Do you respect that? Do you own that? That's the difference. I own that reality. So now I know all the creative potential that I need lies in here, in my imagination. If I can imagine it and I can hold steadfast to it, I can achieve it. Let's get back to this falling in love business. So what I want you to understand is that human beings are either below the veil or above the veil, okay? And just like with anything else, being below the veil, there are layers. And being above the veil, there are layers. There are degrees. And so I consider myself being pretty high above the veil, and I look to expand my consciousness and my understanding of my being, of my mind, of other people's minds, their perceptions, my planet, my solar system, and outside of the solar system. On a quantum level, I'm looking to, I want to understand things on a quantum level now, okay? So, understanding that, once you come through the veil, you begin to understand that the ideas that you had about love below the veil may have been all false. You see, every boyfriend that I ever attracted, I attracted because from a state of lack, because I didn't think I was enough. And I attracted boys that needed a lot of validation, a lot of external validation. But I was seeking validation too, just covertly. I attracted boys that wanted overt attention, where I was covert. I wasn't the one that let you know that I needed your attention. So I attracted boys that very much, where are you? What are you doing? Why didn't you call me when I called you? You said you were going to be here at 6 and it's 6:05. Those are the kinds of boyfriends I got. Whatever. I married someone who thought I could read his mind or acted like I could read his mind. And so again, when I first met my first husband, I felt all the butterflies and I felt an immediate attraction, but I was still below the veil of consciousness. And the reason that's really important to understand is because when you're below the veil of consciousness, you are unaware that you are attracting what you are from a negative standpoint. So we attract our mothers, we attract our fathers. So let's say you're a female who had a very abrasive relationship with mom, but dad was messed up, but you felt at least a little loved by him or not so abused by dad. You will attract a male energy if you're heterosexual. You will attract a male energy that's very much like mom because you never received her validation. And in your adult life, you will try to seek that energetic being's validation because you have not hit that emotional, psychological milestone. Everything that we do on a quantum level, unaware that we're seeking to be lined up with someone that has wounded us for the purpose of finally healing that and being able to move on to the next level of our emotional and psychological development. We're unaware of this stuff. So when I attracted my ex-husband, hell yeah. First day I saw him, I turned to my friend. I was putting myself through college working at a deli. I turned to my friend and said, I'm going to marry him. And I did. I was like 21. It was ridiculous. And so, but who did I marry? I didn't marry a terrible person. I married a man that represented my mother's energy because I never felt like I got her validation. And so here psychologically in my adult life, I didn't know that I was attracting from a quantum level a being that was similar, that represented love to me. You see, his energy, his aura. Now, spiritualists will say, I felt his aura. I was attracted to his aura. Someone who is a quantum physicist might say that your quantum field, my quantum field, was very similar to his quantum field, and thus the attraction. So the attraction is real. So when we're attracting from below the veil of consciousness, we do attract and we do feel attracted and we do feel magnetized towards people who could very well be extremely, extremely unhealthy for us. That's a real attraction, but it's based on a faulty understanding of love and self. Now, when you take yourself off the cross and you realize that I am enough, that you truly are God incarnate, you just didn't know that. And you understand that you don't have to seek other people's validation, that it's okay that if you've attracted negative people up into your life up until now, because now you're coming from a higher self perspective, and now you can let go in love and light. Now you can say, okay, I get it. You're a narcissist. Don't mean to label you. It's not a witch hunt, but I need to clearly define who you are and what kind of energetic being you are and how you perceive the world so that I can protect myself, so I can shield myself. Because most codependents are very empathetic. Most codependents, love addicts, are very intuitive, and they're very tuned up to how other people feel. And in seeking the validation of others, we anticipate other people's needs because we want them to see us. And we're asking them to validate us in a covert way. That doesn't mean that we're these terrible manipulators. It just means that we're essentially 7-year-old children begging for mother or father's or both's validation. That's what we're doing. So there's no harm there. And there are no villains here. There's just cause and effect. When you come through the veil, you have a beautiful opportunity to begin attracting love, healthy love into your experience, which I am so fortunate that I have been able to, in this lifetime, attract someone who I believe is an equal partner to me. We are equally yoked, biblically speaking. We are equally yoked. No competition between my husband and I. It's beautiful, dear ones. And I do make these videos and I write my books and do my teleclasses and workshops, wanting to bring you to the God that is within you, to the Christ that's within you, so that you can understand that you are enough. Why? So because when you understand that you're enough, you love yourself. And when you love yourself and you accept yourself as you are, faults, flaws, mistakes, all the errors that you in judgment that you made below the veil of consciousness, damn, God knows that I have made my own. And when you understand that everything that you've ever done, you've done because you didn't know. You were unaware. There's no sense in beating yourself up over that. Because like Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better. So this video is really created to help you understand that when you attract from below the veil of consciousness, you are attracting, if you came from a dysfunctional family, you're attracting a dysfunctional idea of love. And you won't be happy. A healthy way to fall in love can only happen when you're above the veil of consciousness and when you're using logic and reason to fall in love, if you will. I don't like the word fall in love, but when you tell yourself or understand and have a conversation with yourself, self, I am no longer going to decide to give myself to people who I don't know can see me, because I will be drained in that situation. That's not an equally yoked relationship, and that relationship cannot grow. And relationships that don't grow are dead. So I will not be spiritually filled. So I cannot be my delightful spiritual self and be a light in the world if I'm being drained. It just doesn't make sense. Just stick with me. What I did the second, when I came through the veil of consciousness and I began to understand, oh my God, I didn't love myself, and that's why I was attracting people who couldn't love me. And I said, okay, I'm going to love myself. I understand that I am a divine creature and that God is within me. God is within me. God is in my DNA. I am God. I am God incarnate. We all are. That was such a beautiful experience. And I was like, okay, there are people who accept that in this world, and there are people who don't. There are people who believe that God is something that exists outside of them, and that's why they live in fear, because they're waiting for God to bless them or direct them. I don't do that. I understand. I'm in alignment with my desires and my dreams. I have forgiven myself, and so now I can offer forgiveness. I love myself, and that's why I can love other people. I don't judge myself. That's why I don't judge anyone else. I don't criticize myself. Well, I'm still working on that. I try. I'm really working on that. But I criticize myself less and less, and I find myself not criticizing others. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. When you understand that you are God incarnate, there's no more competition between you and anyone else. It's like, okay, I love you. But if you don't love me, it's okay, because I'm God incarnate. I got nothing to prove. I'm okay, even if you're not okay, because you have your own journey to take. And I can't take you off the cross. Only you can. I can lead you to the cross, but I can't take you off the cross. Only you can take you off the cross. It's just a beautiful place to live, to be in your head. So now that I'm at that place, when I started thinking about manifesting a relationship, a future relationship, I started really believing that I deserved it and that it was going to benefit my children if I found this beautiful, amazing love. So I started realizing that the more I love myself, the more I gravitate and oscillate or vacillate at a level that where love exists. So my goal became to love myself, love my toothbrush, love my feet, love my grass, love the mailman, metaphorically, love the trees, love whatever, just love everything. Love going through a divorce because it brought me to where I was, love my parents because they were the backdrop of my relationship. My parents was actually the canvas upon which I built my new life. Let's just love them just the way they are. They messed up, they below the veil of consciousness, they're in denial, they're unrecovered ACOAs, send them love and light, send them love and light. Good luck with that. Maybe you have to die and come back here and experience whatever. That's your journey. That's your journey. Bless everything. So now what I do, or what I did back then, was I understood that it was my job to love with logic and reason. So when I met my husband, I'm going to be honest with you, like we had spent a lot of time talking before we met, and I had a really good feeling about him. And it was based on logic and reason. Through his divorce, he was the one who got his children into therapy. A lot of bad things happened, and he was dedicated to his children's mental health. He had friends since he was 5 years old. He loved family. He was living in a small apartment at the time, and he still had his family over every Sunday, and he made the Italian pasta dinners. I love that about him. He raised peacocks. Come on, that's really cool. Who the hell raises peacocks? My husband did. I found that so interesting. So all of these things were the sort of I don't know what else word to use, but this became the requirements, if you will, or the reasons why I decided it was okay to start trusting him. It was okay to start feeling for him. And so my decision to love him was very much based on logic and reason. When I had dinner with my husband, he was empathetic. He came back, he volleyed back and forth. He was sensitive to the waitress and the waiters. He was kind. He held doors open. And as time went on, this stuff never went away. My husband, with him 5.5 years, he still walks in front of me to open every single car door. When we come to our home, he puts the key in the door and he steps to the side and he allows me to walk in it. Dear ones has not stopped. That's a quality man, and they exist. But you can't attract them until you know you as a quality female. I will say this, you need to become the mate you want to attract. So if you want an honest person in your life, then you must be completely honest. If you want an empathetic person in your life, you must have empathy. If you want someone who's generous, you must be generous. Tip, dear ones. Stop it. Be generous. Tip everybody. The message you're sending out into the universe is, I am enough. I have enough. And what happens is when you act like you have enough, and when you are enough, when you act like you have enough and that you are enough, you gravitate on the level of abundance. You stop pinching yourself off. If you're nickel and diming the waitress, what are you saying? You're saying to the universe, I don't have enough. She's not enough. And the world is a boomerang. I would say tip them even if you got crappy service. Now, I know people are going to have issue with that. It's not about the waitress. It's about you, and it's about your intent. Every time I go to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, I put $1 in the jar. Because even if I only have $2 left, I put $1 in the jar. Because I'm worried about the intent that I'm sowing. I want the universe to know I think I'm enough. I know that I'm enough. And so, dear ones, I really hope that this video has inspired you and has helped you clear up some ideas about how to fall in love in a healthy way and what you might be doing wrong. Remember, this is an incremental journey. This stuff doesn't change overnight. This is a quantum field that we live in. It takes time to shift those realities. It takes time to sift through those vibrational planes, okay? So you might be at a really low place right now, but it's just temporary. If you harness these lessons that I'm teaching you, it is my guarantee to you, that you will slowly awaken, slowly take in these ideas. Your heart chakra will change. Your chakra system will begin to flow energy more effectively. You'll be able to send people love and light. You're living with an ornery bastard. You'll be able to say, it's okay, in your own head, because he's going to think you're crazy or she's going to think you're nuts. You know, in love and light, dear one, in love and light, you and I are not on the same plane. In love and light, in love and light. No judgment here. Just, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. Dear ones, I hope this has inspired you. Let me know. Keep your questions coming. It is my sincerest, deepest wish to bring you to your divine self so that you can love yourself and begin attracting more love and becoming more love, and so that you can spread and share more love and light on this planet for future generations and for now. I love you because I love myself. Namaste. I bow to the love and light in you, dear ones. Bye.